Cascadia is a copper gold exploration company with its flagship CARMAX project in the high-grade Minto Copper Belt in the Yukon Territory. CEO Graham Downs is here to discuss the drill results from the final 8 holes from its 2025 drill program. I'm Martin Gagel with Market Radius Research. Please remember this is neither a recommendation nor investment advice. We're here to learn about the company. Graham, thank you for joining us and congrats on a successful 2025 drill program.
Thank you so much. Great to see you again.
All right. Why don't you just give us a quick overview? Actually, why not just on Cascadia itself, and then the news release, the news that you put out, the drill results, and what that means for the whole 2025 drill program.
Yes, absolutely. I think that's a really good point. This was our first drill program on this project. I think that's the key thing here is that some of your viewers will recall that we just merged with Granite Creek Copper in the fall of 2025. So we finished that and scrambled and raised some money and got into the CARMAX project and quickly did a 4,000 meter drill program. And that's what you're seeing here. We announced our initial results late last year, and then the labs and Christmas just they were backed up, and we finally were able to get these final 8 holes out. So it's been a transformational year for Cascadia. We have an amazing project, road accessible, near power in central Yukon. The commodities prices, copper well over $6 now, and obviously gold where it's at. We couldn't be in a better position. So yeah, very fortunate place to be in. And these final holes, are just, excellent results, incredibly good. Right in line with a lot of the previous drilling. So we're very excited about what we have here today and what we're going to be doing in 2026. So happy to take you through that today.
Yeah, people can obviously read the news release and the details, but maybe some of the standout or notable results from it, and maybe on a broader scale, what does this data, what kind of picture does it paint?
Well, it's really the most important thing here, and this is why we decided to acquire Granite Creek Copper, is that we saw a lot of exploration potential and that we thought that we could grow this deposit. The CARMAX deposit has been around for a long time, but it's just suffered from a lack of work and up and down commodity prices in the wrong direction of trying to develop it. Andrew and the team and we've been working in the Yukon for over 30 years, and we've known about it. And we said, listen, this is a great asset. Let's get this. I've started in that area early in my career, and it's a great place to work. And I think the key there is it's road accessible, near power, which is key. And back to my point about what it means is that it's just that we are showing that we can expand mineralization, and that is the most important thing, and that the grade is good. And by way of example, I know your readers can look at the release, but we have 42 meters of over 1% copper. I think it was 1.19% copper, multiple grades of 25 plus of over 1% copper. Those are really good grades. And those are within much broader intervals of over 80 meters of, 0.63 and 93 meters of 0.63. That's the length of a football field. Like, these are big intervals of good grade copper gold mineralization with silver and molybdenum. The deposit's made up of 3 zones. They're all looked at as being open pit. 1, 2, 1, 3 is shallow. They all come to surface, and I think with $6 copper, I'm not too worried about being able to get these underground. That's still to be determined, but a lot of these, every zone is open in multiple directions. So we're just in a very fortunate position to have this asset in these times.
The hole 25040 seemed to be quite the standout hole, let's call it that, with about 90 meters of 0.88 copper. That great intercept. Is that just sort of a good hole, or does it say something else about, or what other information does it provide about the deposit? And was that a surprise to your team? And what kind of picture does that paint, that hole?
It's quite comparable to a lot of the holes. Like, I really invite your viewers to look at our corporate presentation. Some of the holes that have been drilled on this project are just spectacular. And I think, because it was viewed as it was it was overlooked for so long, and the word is just starting to get out on this project. But the numbers that we're getting in this release are very similar to many of the other results that have been done over the last 10, 20 years. So, and then, I don't, maybe I'm jumping ahead a bit here, but, we're only talking about the intervals that we've intersected in the deposit directly, because we wanted to go in there, get our, get on the ground, get a good look at how it is working out there with the camp and the infrastructure. So that was great to, cut our teeth, but we're going to go in there next year with around 15,000 meters, hope to bump that up. But stepping out from the deposit, you've got we say this in the release, you've got zone 14, which is just about 500 meters just off to the east of the deposit. And in 2007, a previous company drilled, I can't remember, it was around 16 meters of over 1% copper. But back in those days, they were only looking for oxide. So when they hit sulfide mineralization, which is the majority of the deposit, they would actually just stop and be like, no, we're done. We were looking for oxide because they were looking at doing a heap leach. We're going completely, we have to give credit to Granite Creek. They got this going in the right direction. And we're going to go for a conventional operation here. The sulfide metallurgy is incredibly good. You lose a little bit on the oxide, but because this is mainly sulfide, it's not a big deal. We have to work through some of that met, but overall it looks really good. So you've got zone 14, then we've got the gap zone, which is a zone in between the 147 and 2000S. And in 2021, they drilled, I believe it was 29 meters of 0.5% copper. So there's lots of areas in and around, like directly in the deposit, just outside deposits and the geophysical targets. And then 11 kilometers away, you've got the zone A that was drilled in the 80s, and they were getting I just want to get my numbers right, around 22 meters of 2.2% copper with 2.2 grams gold. So you're seeing a big kick in the gold grades in other areas. I mean, this is a huge property with roads all throughout it, networking. It's we kind of own half the Minto copper belt, and then you've got Selkirk Copper Mines, which is doing a lot of work up there, looking to get that back into production. So we've got great real estate, great potential in the deposit, near deposit, regionally, and with the activities at Selkirk, they're doing a great job up there. It's kind of the main place to be in the Yukon right now.
You mentioned the gap zone and zone 14. Is the theory that potentially zone 14 is connected to the rest of the deposit, and you want to see if that connects up?
I would love that. But
Yeah.
typically these are kind of rafts and they're parallel. And I don't
Okay.
know if they would actually connect. That's fine. They're just, the more rafts, the better, because everything kind of trends north-northwest. And zone 14 is probably just like that. Excuse me, just like that as well. So, and that's
Y-
probably what you're seeing. Like when you look at the deposit on our presentation, you'll see how the deposit kind of staggered. That's probably what we're seeing in the gap zone. We just don't have enough drill holes in it. We need to see how those might be slightly offset, but the rafts are probably still there. And I mean, that's not a shabby grade of 29 meters, 0.5% copper. So yeah, it's great.
You had 8 holes. 7 of the 8 hit mineralization. One did not. That one, like, it's great hit rate, especially at this
Yeah.
stage of exploration. But that one that didn't hit, does that tell us anything about boundaries or limits on what you're looking for?
Well, we would have liked to hit it, obviously, but I don't think so. We're not too worried about it. The 1213 is a little bit more complicated, so that's not too surprising. I believe there's some more faulting going on up there, and no, we just missed. But there's lots of mineralization up there, and we'll figure it out. Yeah, we potentially bounded, but we don't know. Honestly, it's our first program in there, and I think there's still lots of room around there to find more or find where things go. What's nice about 1213 is it's really shallow mineralization, so it's good.
You've got the data now. I presume your geos are going to be working, putting together a model, and then you've got a 15,000 meter, I believe it is, plan for the coming year. And so modeling it out and then figuring out a plan. Can you give us, let's say on a higher level, what are your broader goals of 2026 drilling? Find new explore for new targets, sort of any infill drilling, or just trying to find boundaries?
Well, there's a lot of room within the deposit, very, very large gaps. There's a couple of those in our release here as well, big gaps. So there's lots of room, where they're modeled, but there's just no grade there because there's no drilling there. So we have
Yeah.
to do that. But, a lot of our drilling is and you'll see that in the sections, you're finding mineralization outside the block model. So we need to follow that up. And we're going to get that done with a lot of drilling. So the majority of the drilling will be at the deposit itself, but we definitely need to learn more about zone 14 and the gap zone. And we need to get out to zone A, where we had those really high grade copper from the 80s. That was actually found over 350 meters. I mean, I don't think all the holes were that good, but there's definitely a zone, probably another raft up there, hopefully multiple rafts. So it's going to be a combination of all of those. In an ideal world, as the word gets out and we are able to bump up our meterage from 15,000 to a little bit more into the fall. Our last drill program was in the fall. It got pretty cold at the end there, but totally manageable because you have the roads and the infrastructure. It's great.
Do you think after this year's drill program, will that put you at a stage to maybe put together a new resource estimate on it? Or can you give some thoughts on how much data or how big of a conceptual target you'd need to have before putting out a resource estimate? I think a lot of companies put one out when they're too small and save that till you really have a good sense of how big it is.
Yeah, we feel the same way. I mean, we could go out there and probably do a resource after this. And I mean, the last PEA 2 was done at 375 copper and $1,800 gold. We could probably do another PEA and this thing would look spectacular. But we want to hit it out of the park. We want to do a lot of drilling, depending like how this season goes. If we can able to do more drilling, I think the reality is we do a big program this year and a bigger program next year, understand things, see where we're finding, and then do one at that point and just really hit it out of the park. So that's the current thinking. But if we
Yeah.
end up somehow doing a lot of drilling in 2020, we'd have to look at that.
You had to wait for the acquisition and stuff to close, and you only started in late summer, early fall. When can you start drilling this year? And then if things go well, you could raise some more money and keep on going in late summer, fall. Any perspectives on that and as to a start date?
Yeah, I think because it's road accessible, we can actually get in there quite a bit earlier than what we're used to on
Oh,
other
nice.
other projects. So I envision April at some point, at least get things going, get things started, and we have a drill sitting there ready to go. So once you're in there and you can drag that around, you can get going pretty quickly. Um, and then we can go. What did we go into last year? We went right into October, late October, and I've done drill programs into November. It's not enjoyable, but it's absolutely doable. And other Yukon companies are doing all winter round. So because of the roads, you can do that. And there's a couple places that we'd actually like to do this winter, upcoming winter, just because of where they are, a little bit wetter ground. So, we're going to be preparing for that as well.
Graham, we've
Yeah.
covered a lot. I think we hit all the high points on it. Any final comments before we wrap it up?
No, I think we're good. Yeah, we're just we're pretty pumped about what we have here, and in these markets, we were just very fortunate to have an asset like we do now, and in a friendly jurisdiction. I think these are rare, and we're lucky to have one. So follow along. If anybody wants to give us a shout, we're always around to talk. So appreciate your time.
All right, Graham, thank you very much. Have a great day and talk to you again soon. Cheers.
Thanks.